And welcome to another Night Rain round review. Well, multiple rounds. This time we got Everdark Libra, and oh my goodness, FromSoft, we have to talk about you listening to the PvPers portion of your fan base because this boss, clearly you had them in mind when you made this boss, and it shows very badly. So the main gimmick to this boss fight, gimmicks. There's multiple. First off, he summons basically mimic versions of you. So far, it seems that for each of the Nightfarers, there's at least three different loadouts for the mimics. They won't just spawn with the exact same weapons as you. Thank goodness. Uh, they spawn with three from a what seems to be a random selection of three presets for each Nightfarers. For example, I've seen a Guardian build where the Guardian have two fingerprint shields. I've seen a Wilder build where he has a great bow and he's constantly spamming rain of arrows on top of you guys. I've seen multiple executioner builds with Foul River dance move. Um, I've seen I've seen a lot of these characters build. Um, by themselves, the mimics are fairly easy to deal with, but then we get to the other gimmicks. With one of them being, he may put a random deal on you. So rather than you choosing a deal, he'll force a deal upon you. Now, most of the time, it will tell you, and you can figure out what it is. But sometimes you could get unlucky, and he could randomly pop the deal. You lose a level every time you take a flask, and you couldn't realize this as you're taking a flask. Most of the time, there's a good tell for it, but not only that, but if you don't kill the mimics fast enough, one of two things can happen. He'll either heal them and buff them, or he'll summon more of them. It's I saw someone who went AFK, another YouTuber went AFK just to see how much the AI would be buff. I think they were at times 50 in their buffs, which got me scared about the summoning because, as you'll see in some of these rounds, I've had at least a couple rounds where I'm being chased by a whole army of Nightfarers. But let's get started. Um, you won't get to see my first gameplay. It got lost in recording. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I did Guardian. Maybe I did Guardian for that round, and it yeah, I did Guardian, and it got lost. So this is like my second playthrough, my second attempt, and I started this right when it came out. So it was around like what 11 midnight for me when did this. Um, I think 1 in the morning at this point. I feel so. Normally, I try to give some good tips, hints, or tricks, but in this case, I really got very little for this one. I've had cases. I've tried every nightmare at this point. I think, except for Raider, I haven't tried Raider yet. Um, right there, you can see. I think I've done the most damage with Revenant, just because of Madness. When you inflict Madness on him, it does a lot of damage. It also buff his attack and make him do a feral-like attack patterns. Now, unlike other, his first round fairly easy. It's just him base form virtually. He goes into his Everdark mode very quickly at about the 80% health mark. Once he does that, get away because there's a big AoE attack. Now, the very first thing he'll do is start summoning people. He'll always summon one copy of you and one copy of your teammate. They'll look exactly like you. One of the gimmicks, he'll make your teammates invisible from your view. And there you can see he currently put me um with the curse of every time I take a flash I go down a level. I didn't know at the time, but when you have rings around you, that's basically the tell sign that you're being inflicted by the curse that will down you a level every time you do a flask. So if you see rings, don't take a drink. Use a healing item, like a warming stone, or if you got any of the tears. I really do like the talisman with the frenzy flame. Do a big AOE, very helpful in this boss fight. I think Revenant may be the good meta of beating this boss. Just if you can get lucky with the frenzy flame. Um, just like the previous boss fight, his attack patterns haven't changed. There's nothing real new that he's doing, other than he's summoning people now, and he'll cast up a wall of light, which he hasn't done in this round. And it got me with the madness. It's um several things to note. When you kill your summon character, he drops a yellow one of those yellow items that not only reduce madness, but they also, in this case, they do heal you. And they do give you a fair amount of heal. It is a very fair heal. And prop with madness. I don't even think I had a chance to. Yeah, that madness buildup is really. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I think my teammate got me up in that case. Yep, and Revenant will usually get a talisman that give it Blaze of Blood. And now we got the Wall of Light. I believe when you cross the Wall of Light, it will, I believe, inflict you with a deal. And we both got hit with madness, both at the same time. So as you can see, first round didn't really go well. So let's try another round here. Let's try a round with Wilder. Now here, we made a horrible decision. And we both decided to go with Wilders. And we both have the same skin on. And you're gonna see very quickly how it get very confusing very quickly when you just happen to team up. And it should be said, I'm doing all of these gameplay rounds will be with randos. No, don't have Zed helping me. Don't have any of my other friends helping me. This is all of these matches have been with randoms. And it's probably best if you don't have the same outfit. If you guys are doing a whole team of the same characters, please try to have different outfits. This is just for your own sake because it get very confusing very quickly. And again, I think yeah, this was from one of my more recent runs. We had the um Shattering Earth event, the Crater. I had no real good weapons on me at the time when we got to the end of the crater to max up the legendary, so I had to do my starting weapon. And the good thing about my starting weapon, it does inflict bleed. So my whole plan in this whole fight was to hit this boss with Scarlet Rock from a dagger and do bleed damage and just try proc a lot of damage that way. right off the bat, he got me with one of his sigil and hit me underneath with bleed. I'm trying to get with my teammates because I found one of the worst things to happen in this boss fight is you get separated from your teammates. I had given Revenant that sigil, that talisman to do that Parphylax flame. Now I can't really figure out if that's the bewitching branch. I think it is. So if you do have two of the same curses, it'll load out. It'll give you two different loadouts with your mimics. As you can see, one of the wilders had a what you call it, a bell-bearing hunter build with the shield and weapon. And the Cozy currently got the curse on us, where we have the orb of our head causing um, madness. Got a good ultimate right in his face. He's still got Scarlet Rot, so he's taking damage, and he just popped 3 more right into our face. And you can see another one currently have, what is that, a scepter of some type? I couldn't tell what that was. Me struggling with the lock on because I hadn't realized I had automatic lock on. Now, one thing to note, here's a little tip. When he start blocking people from your view, if you get down, the best thing to do is ping the ground. That'll help people find where you are so they can attack. The purple light of you being down is still there, but it's hard to see during this insane boss fight. As you can see, 2 wilders just came in and made quick work of both of us. There we go, both our wilders are down. Wall of light back up. Gallon gun upon us. I'm hoping I can get my ultimate charged up in time. And I'm also hoping that I can get Scarlet Rot on him. I luckily enough took down the... I don't know how I survived that, honestly. I should have been dead from that one. There we go. He's still teleporting around. Basically, everything you hated about the previous Libra boss fight of him prompting madness on you, constantly spamming madness spells underneath you, shooting madness beam at you, all of that is still there. The only thing he doesn't do is he doesn't go into his shield and go into his madness golden mode anymore. He just, all of his spells are still here. It's just now they replace his phase 2 with summoning people and the wall of light. Now, I do have a Winding Grace. But I really trying to get my teammates up. Oh my god! And you, oh god, you can see very quickly why I don't like this boss fight. I like the concept of it. The concept of it is very interesting. I think it's a very interesting concept. But the actual fight, it's completely RNG if you're doing this with 3 other people. And not only that, look at that. I'm being chased by 1, 2, 3 wilders, 4 wilders, 1 revenant, 2 revenant. So he can summon easily. He can summon multiple other multiple times. So it's not just, oh, you'll have to deal with one set of three. You may have to deal with three sets of three, four sets of three, five sets of three, and so on and so on and so on. This one was a attempt with Recluse. Let's see how well this goes. Spoiler alert, not very well. It's me, Recluse, Executioner, and a Raider. So you'll get to see what a Raider. I recommend personally, since he's gonna be forcing deals on you, I recommend you just attack this fool and just start the match off. I usually let it play out in case one of my teammates somehow got a strategy that involved using his deals against them. Uh, it's yeah. There's a lot about this boss fight I just don't like. I Libra was already my least favorite ever night mode. Not by design. I think his design is top tier. I think he's one of my favorite in terms of design and just overall appeal and theme. But in terms of fighting him, I've never liked his boss. Too many spells, too many spams of his spells, too many projectile. I feel like I'm playing a bullet hell game. So right there, I'm trying to focus down Raiders. And I'm popping the ult, so that way we're getting heals off of our summons. I managed to deal with my Mimic. Currently trying to help. Oh, just going straight after the boss in this round. If you're looking for easy Mimic summons to take down, I think Recluses and Revenants are some of the easiest, just because they're squishy. Doesn't take that. They take a lot of damage, so you can probably kill them in a couple of hits. But the problem with Revenant and Recluse is it's very dependent on how good your days are. If you get like a bunch of good ones or talismans, you'll be in a good situation and deal a lot of damage to the boss. But at the same time, if you don't get, I've had rounds where I've got absolutely nothing by day 3. And I'm about to get hit by, oh, I managed to get out of that. And here we're doing actually a good job. We're wearing him down. Nothing's too crazy. I'm, you know, easily I start focusing on my, and this is where I start running into our magic. I know normally people are like, how you running out FP with Recluse, but you kind of don't get a moment to just collect yourself here. Trying to help our Executioner with his Mimic. And I currently do have a spear that does madness. Virus spear, if memory serves correctly. I got caught with the madness, and here it was just a situation. I didn't realize the eye was above. By the time I realized the eye was above me and how much madness buildup I had, I was already down. No real shards around me to get me back up or to debuff my madness. Yeah, that's one of the builds with Recluse is a she throws dagger at you, and she does blood. And I managed to get player back up, the Raider. I don't know what got me there. I don't know whether, yeah, I don't know what actually took me down right there. Okay, just wanted to double check. Yeah, that wall of light does. It was the wall of light. It does damage as well as build up madness. I knew it. I didn't know it build up madness as well. But as you can tell, I mean, this is not good. Not a good fight. Power to Raider for trying his getting me up, and we actually came pretty close this round. Oh, God. But as you can tell, when a player goes down, as I went down, as a player goes down, and Libra's given more time to summon more people, it becomes more and more hectic. He's still, you know, it would be one thing if Libra was being passive during the summons. It would make it a little bit more bearable. It would be another thing if he didn't summon another set of NPCs until after the first one has been down. But he'll do this a lot. This is another recluse build. Since I had so much success, well, I should say it really was success. I think that was the closest I got to killing him through those runs. I decided to give recluse another try. I think I was mainly hoping I could get a talisman that would do madness that I could use on it. Oh yeah, I gave that spear to Wilder so he could buff everyone. So this first phase, I think everyone see at this point, it's a base Libra fight, which is easy enough. Well, as easy as fighting Libra is. It's phase 2 that he kicks right on off and starts summoning, and it quickly becomes a nightmare. And people, I think the thing that's, I don't know what frustrating me the most, this boss, or the fact that people are saying, oh, finally, this is a well-balanced boss. It's like, if killing the summons did damage to him, that would make it a little bit more balanced. Or if the rate at which he summoned bosses, summoned NPCs was only that, you know, every time you kill the first set, then he will have a chance at summoning another set. Wild, getting rated up with a good ult. Now the good thing is, he's not really procting as many deals, which had me worried when I heard about the leaks saying that he was gonna do deals to you all the time. I It really is RNG. It's random. I've had, I think I do have one run where he kept spamming deals on us while we were fighting the summons, and it made fighting it really difficult. And here come that wall of light. So one good tip. Wow, I didn't realize the wall of light would do that much damage coming down. Um, One good tip: keep your team together. It seemed everything about this boss fight is made to keep your team separate from one another. Um, but you're kind of encouraged not to keep people together when he's just for his base attacks, because he's constantly spamming madness spells underneath you, and if you're not careful, you and your whole team can be caught underneath one of those madness sigils. Okay, we got raided there. So I've heard a lot of people saying they don't like people bringing raiders or guardians. Mainly, they hate people bringing guardians because he's a tanky summon, and you don't do enough damage as guardian. I've seen a lot of guardian players very angry with this boss fight just because you don't do enough damage with guardians to deal with your mimic fast enough before he'll summon more of them. I think the worst screenshot I saw were one Guardian player running from three of his mimics, all with the fingerprint shield. It's not a good day for him. Oh madness. Again, I think the recluse mimic is the easiest to deal with. I haven't had I've had I've only ever had the one with thorns, but someone told me there's one where he's just spamming Renala's moon at you, so I guess that would be a huge problem. Now the good another good thing is the mimics are just like the night of just like the Nightfarers, the Night Invaders that you'll fight during daytimes. So you won't really have to worry about them. Let's say like the Revenant summoning her summon characters onto you. You won't have to worry about you will have to worry, I believe, about executioners pulling out the deflecting katana on you. Um, I don't think raiders. You won't have to worry about Wilder or Raiders doing any of their characters. Most of the characters won't do their skill. I don't think even now that I think about it, I don't think even Executioner would do his character skill on you. And you can see currently one of those Wilders have the big bow rain of arrow. There we go. where he's constantly just summoning rain of arrows on you as you're trying to res your teammates. And immediately up, put back immediately down. Try to help my teammate out with the ultimate so that way we can do some damage. Again, we're getting fairly close. I'm out of magic at this point. I'm like, oh jeez. Yep. Trying to throw down a warming stone, get near the totem, and I didn't realize the range of. And the Rending Grace brought me back up. I did not realize the range of it, of his attack, and unfortunately, trying to throw down a warming stone so I can heal up as I'm trying to just get Raider back up. And I managed to get him up. I then see, oh no, I got the curse on me. Thank goodness I don't have any flash left to actually make a difference. And oh yeah, Raider have his shield. It's I think now a lot of people, maybe you're starting to see this boss fight. It's so chaotic, and we'll throw in another one. Let's get another round in. Let's round two with Revenant. Two talismans this time. Giving you my loadout. This was a duo. I'm trying to remember. Oh, and also I have a dagger that does Scarlet Rot. And Bike Speed. So as you can see, I got a complete madness build in this round. So for this one, I believe our teammate left us day one. I got a deal for you. I don't want to say it, but Rending Grace. Man, I was really. And boom, we got poison, we got Scarlet Rot, we had everything on him this round. Using a warming stone so I don't have to waste my flask. Getting some Black Blade damage on them. And right there, hit easily. At this point, I'm realizing, yeah, these summons are really dumb. They don't realize not to run at the enemy during this aggro scene. I'm trying to prot, and I got a good madness hit on him again. And I got Wilder chasing me around. And yeah. I probably should have went for the melee attack on him, but with the rate at which madness would be procted on me, I also should have pinged the ground at this point just so he knew where I was. But at this point, the Rending Grace got us. Probably should have saved that and seen if I could just draw him up with melee, but I didn't want to take chances. And the whole time, he's just staying on top of me. I cannot get a chance to actually use a madness spell on him at this point. The auto lock on went to Wilder's Mimic rather than staying on Libra. One thing to note is you can proc Madness on them to do a lot of damage that way. But now we're starting to see a lot of when RNG just kind of get right in your face. When he's aggro just on you, and you got a Mimic on you, just look at that. The Madness Sigils need to stop. Oh, they need to be lessened at this point. Now, I believe there's a Bewitching Branch on me. And Lightning. There we go. More madness. But let's cut to one of my favorite one. This one just live in infamy in my mind and is a perfect summarization of this fight. Fingerprint shield on my back. I do have a madness talisman on me. I think I want Iron Eye to take it because I expect him to hang back enough so that I figure it would do enough for him. Showing off all of our relics just so you see our builds. You can pause the screen and get that. That's of course the talisman to pick up more runes. Won't do us much good here. One other thing I wish they would do with this boss fight is if you lost levels due to one of his curse, I wish the levels would be restored to you when the curse ends. The curses generally last for about 30 seconds. Same with the Wall of Light. Wall of Light also lasts for about 30 seconds. The Mimics, on the other hand, they stay around. And there is the chance that he could summon more Mimics before you get done with the first set, and then summon another set before you get done with that set. There's also the chance that he just buffed them, so mid-fight they completely heal and they get an increased damage buff to them. Managed to get madness on him. And the heal animation really couldn't dodge that. kicking off his next phase. Yeah, my teammate, maybe they thought they could proc some type of status debuff on them. Don't know why they were staying there. Managed to get madness on them. So one of the executioner builds, he has claws. Oh my god. I honestly lost track of myself just looking at myself there. Again, these are fun to watch. They make for very entertaining matches, but balancing gameplay wise, playing with random players, it's an absolute nightmare. Right there, I'm spamming rules mainly to do damage to the mimics while rezzing teammates. You can see one of the builds have a managed to get madness on them. One of the build has a Melania's blade, so he's constantly using her skill on us. Managed to get madness, and again, every time you do madness, it does do a good amount of damage to him, as well as his attack patterns will become he goes feral and start jumping around. And he got one summon out on us. Oh jeez. And of course, I think is that an yeah, that's an Iron Eye build with a cannon. And of course, there's another build when he got the Bloodhound Claws. They have poison pots, so they're trying to prop you with poison. Now again, Bot's Spear is a godsend here just because you can proc madness on your opponent, on your mimics, do that additional madness, and get in a stagger hit on them while they yeah. I probably saw that and was like, even if I get out of the way, the mimic's going to gank me as I'm getting out of the way. Now at this point, I think I realized that my team, I'm invisible to my teammate. I think this was one of my earlier rounds, so I didn't know to ping the ground. There we see the waterfowl dance from our mimics. And he's summoning another set of mimics after us. At this point, I realize, oh, this is really bad. We gotta deal with these mimics. So at this point, I was just trying to figure out where my teammates was, see if I could help any of them. Executioner went down, and look, I have 3 executioners all after me at once. At this point, I'm thinking about my life choices of joining this boss fight. And oh my goodness, there's so much going on. You got the madness build underneath you. You have the eye curse above you. You have 3 sets of mimic on you. You have the wall of light. And at this point, I only realize I'm out FP. Trying to get Iron Eye up in the hopes that he can just get away while I draw all of their attention. Because I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4 executioners running around me right now. all with buffs. I didn't even realize this. What type of buffs do they have? Times three. Is that times three? Oh my goodness! This. So I recommend don't try spamming the same Nightmare on people unless you want to have one, two, three, four versions of yourself running around, all with different weapons. Oh jeez. Again, good battle royale, but this boss fight is just too chaotic. At this point, I'm just like, why am I doing this boss fight? They will sometimes fight each other if they hit each other, but it's very rare. Like right there, you see they all fighting each other, so it's making me one, two, three, four, five. At this point, I realize my teammates are invisible. I'm trying to get to them. I'm poison. I'm madness. I'm being attacked by multiple versions of myself. It's just utter chaos. And for that, I do get it. Yes, it's utter chaos. This is what they were going for, a madness themed boss. But balancing wise, it's too chaotic. It's too random. And there's too much RNG. It like, will I get lucky and the presets for my mimics are easy for me to kill? Or is it one that's very gimmicky? Um, am I going to be in a fight with, is my teammates going to choose the same Nightfarers as me, and I'm going to be in a fight with, literally in this case, I think 6 copies of myself. I mean, and the worst part is they could easily fix this if they made it so when you kill mimics, they do damage to Libra. Like currently, there's nothing stopping Libra from having just a ton of bosses. Oh my god. The good thing is, yes, they can attack each other, and baiting them into attacking each other is fine. I think at this point, I was literally at desperation. This was one of my earlier thing, and yep, we're down. And another defeat. Honestly, this is a rough one. Yeah, honestly, this. And I wish you got a good relic for it. The problem is, the relic is just as bad as the previous um, relic that you got um, in his initial boss fight. If memory serve, his relic this time is. Let me see if I have it down. I believe it is taking attack, improve attack power, gesture, cross leg, build up madness, and madness continually recover FP, which I don't believe is too different than his previous one. So is uh, it would be one thing if this boss was really tough and his relic gave a good um and his relic gave something decent, some type of decent buff or decent ability. But no, it's the relic is just as bad as the boss fight in my opinion. And I don't doubt some of this is a little bit saltiness of, yeah, I haven't beat the boss yet and I'm still banging my head against the wall with randoms trying to beat it. But at the same time, I this I think one of the things that annoyed me the most is not the boss, but the community's defense around this boss. saying, "Oh, it's all just skill issues." Like, look, him summoning is fine. I'm fine with him summoning mimics versions of me to fight. That's completely fair. Wall of light, that cause madness when you cross it and do damage, also fair. Um, Inflicting deals on you during the boss fight that lasts for about 30 seconds, again, fair. These are all by themselves and in separation. These are all fair things to have in a FromSoft boss fight. But all together at once, and there's no limitations, upper limitations on the um the summons or buffing the summons, is where I draw the line and think it's, yeah, this is a little bit too chaotic for a just to be a fair boss fight, in the sense of, I haven't played this solo. People saying, "Oh, I beat it solo." I'm like, well, that makes sense. I bet his attack pattern is less aggressive. The mimics are probably take more damage, so it's probably easier to kill them. There's only one mimic you have to deal with rather than three in a typical summon run. Um, so I can understand why people solo players are having an easier time than people don't. Even the people who are doing this with teams, like the only people I've heard who beat this boss with groups of three are people doing it on Discord or people doing it in groups, and they're like, "Yeah, we beat it. It was either like, well, yeah, you're coordinating with people, you're talking via Discord or TeamSpeak, but just for the average player who's probably playing this with randoms like I am, it's super chaotic. You can't coordinate as well with your teammates. Um, how much your teammate may or may not know about this boss fight varies. But even with all of that aside, taking the teammates out of the question, the rate again, he every 30 seconds it seemed like he has a chance to summon or to buff the pre-existing mimics. There's no reason you should be in a situation where the boss is sending has summoned mimics up to 3 times before you even dealt with the first or the second set, and you got an army of mimics chasing after you, and then they could all be buffed too, and that's what really is daunting. Like when I was being chased by that last round, being chased by the executioner mimic army, they were buff if I'm not mistaken. I think they were buffed 2 times at that point, and it's like, even if I'm actively a good player taking out my mimics or taking out a mimic and another mimic, if my teammate is down or if they're busy with the boss, and then the boss summon another set of mimics before we can deal with the first one, and then another set while we're still dealing with another one, it there's too much of a randomness factor of, will he summon a mimic? Will he buff the mimic? Will he be hyper aggressive while the mimics are running, or will he be kind of passive? Will he spam madness spells on you, or will he be passive with the madness spells? All of these things kind of kick into the RNG factor of this fight, of how random this fight is, and because of that, it's hard to dial in. Oh, do this, he'll have this attack pattern, and then you can easily gank him to the end. And yeah, no, this boss fight do feel like it need to just not be nerfed, but mimics either need to, when they die, do damage to or maybe he lose health every time he summon a mimic. That would be a good that would be a good way to introduce it. He lose health every time he summon or buff a mimic. It's like he's doing a deal with himself, and the deal with the mimic is he lose health when summoning the mimic, or he debuff himself when he buff a mimic. That's the curse of the deal. That would be a nice little gimmick to this fight. Some other tips: the bewitching branches or any items to try to control NPCs don't work on the mimics. Don't. Yeah, I was hoping I could. I didn't. I haven't had a chance to try it, but I was gonna do a round where I bought a bunch of bewitching branches and just See if I could cause the mimic to have a battle royale among themselves. Doesn't work. Doesn't. I've had other players tell me they went in with the same idea, didn't work, didn't turn out well. They say it took too long to use, and when it used, it didn't affect the mimics. So yeah, this honestly, yeah, the only advice is get good, and I wish you'll hear a bunch of players giving like hyper specific strats for each types of knife arrow you're using and stuff, but honestly, this boss fight do feel a little bit imbalanced and a little bit unfair with how rapidly he summons, in my opinion. Maybe if they limit like he couldn't summon until the first set is already dead, or he could only buff them again. The fact that he can buff them up to X56 time in one run, I saw someone had, was just like how did that get past QA? I'm hoping that was just like a leak because I think the YouTuber said that they were using a leaked version and they would AFK with engine on just to see how high, how many times he would get buffed. It's a fun boss fight, but it's also, you can have fun with a boss fight, but feel it's on a very imbalanced boss fight and heavily in favor with the boss. I'm going to be interested to see how many people actually clear this Everdark boss fight. Honestly, I didn't like the original Libra boss fight just because of how much he tend to spam the madness spells on you, and he does that here. And his second phase in the first one, I think one of the other thing I didn't like was that his second phase, whenever he goes into his crossless stance to charge up and go golden mode on you, you had to some of his sigils would be locked up in a height that you couldn't jump. So the only way was to bring a ranged weapon or a ranged character to break that sigil. I didn't like that. Like again, you could break it by doing an ultimate attack to him, but you may not always have the ultimate charge up. So you could technically poise break him as well, but that's hit or miss whether you would be able to do that sometimes. So yeah, I wish I had more advice, folks, but this boss fight, like it's like Libra himself, is a madness boss fight. It may be. I have a feeling that it will be patched, but I also have a feeling like the Caligo previous Everdark boss fight is going to be patched after the night lord is already dismissed for that week. But yeah, I gotta say this is interesting concept, poor implementation in my opinion. Hope you guys fare better than I've been faring. Good luck, and try not to go crazy with this one. Have a good one.